Hey guys, welcome back. This is Bernard from the BJ Tech News and websites. Yes, everyone now they needs a website. That's the only way that you broadcast what you're trying to advertise to people like myself. I have a blog site that I try to maintain every day for you guys, provide as much information about technology, any new thing that I get. I try to post it up either in YouTube, which is a website, and or my WordPress site, which is also a website. But a lot of people, rather than hosting their files into another third party, they've been doing everything locally. So I'm going to actually show you guys how to host your own website on a Windows server. So there's a lot of applications out there, and the one that's very popular is WAMP server. WAMP also comes with another version for the Mac side, but I'm just going to talk about the WAMP side because it's Windows. So what WAMP stands for? WAMP stands for Windows, Apache, MySQL, and PHP. That's what WAMP basically stands for. Windows, which is the W, is specified only for a Windows platform. You have A, which is Apache, which is the program that actually allows you to host a website. This is the program that puts everything together for you to see those cool looking applications. MySQL is basically the database that keeps all the web content together. And PHP, which is a very popular language that allows you to write dynamic web content. And PHP is well known in sites such as Facebook, and WordPress, for what I know, and other sites out there, they're dealing with PHP. So as you can see on my screen, I have the download section of the WAMP server. I'm going to provide this link at the bottom of the description so you guys can get yourself a copy. I normally get the latest version, and the one that I downloaded is the 32-bit PHP 5.4. If you're doing 64-bit, download the 64-bit. I actually downloaded 32-bit because as you can see in my testing machine right here, I call it the BJ-WAMP. It's a Windows 7 machine. You can actually build this on a Windows 7 machine. You don't really need to do it on a Windows server. Best practice, I think, to me would be put the WAMP on a server-side operating system. Don't do it on the Windows 7. Windows 7 is not really secure to maintain a Windows server. So let's begin. I downloaded the application. Nice little UAC. I'm gonna hit yes on this, and let's follow the prompts. We're gonna hit next. Before I hit next, look at right here in the corner. This is everything that's going to be downloaded. The latest versions of the WAMP servers, which is 2.4, Apache, MySQL, PHP, PHP admin, which is a nice little web GUI that allows you to maintain the PHP stuff, SQL Buddy, and Xdebug, which is also great applications. We're going to hit next on this. I do accept the agreement. Hit next. And this is the default location that your WAMP files are going to be located. Now, a lot of people like to change this into a different location. What I recommend is don't drop it in your C drive. Drop it into another partition, guys, okay? This is where you're going to be having all your websites, all your HTML, your PHP files located, your configuration files within, with your Apache stuff, your configuration for PHP, and as well as your database. So you want to keep all that stuff in a separate volume. So I'm going to leave it as a C drive for this video only, and hit next. And I do want to create a quick launch icon as well as a desktop icon. I'm not going to do a quick launch. I changed my mind. And I'm going to hit next, and we're going to hit install. Now the installation shouldn't take no more than, I would say, 2 or 3 minutes. It's really quick, really fast. At the lower right hand side of the taskbar where the time is at, most likely you're going to see a big W. So I'm going to just check always show icons notification. And once the installation is done, on the lower right hand side of the taskbar, you're going to see a nice little W. Firefox has been detected on your computer. Would you like to use it as a default browser for the WAMP app? Now, depending on what browser you have on your server, a lot of servers come with IE. I've seen a lot of people actually install Firefox because it works and handles the pages of a website a little better. So that's the reason why I have Firefox on it. So I'm going to hit yes. I want this to be my default one. Awesome. As you can see on the desktop, it created a nice little shortcut. You're going to get this on your Windows server side. Now, I don't think you're going to receive this on the Windows server side. I don't think I've seen this, but on a Windows 7 side, you're going to see a Windows security alert. It basically wants you to give it access to your firewall because it does block certain features. So I'm going to say give it access to everything and allow access, and it's going to continue the installation. Okay, so once you hit next, you're going to get this. Now, if you're hosting your site, most likely you're going to have an SMTP server, which allows you to email, you probably have like a contact, like contact blah blah at this email. And you want your web server to handle all that stuff. You want your web server to handle the emailing part. I'm going to leave this as localhost for now. And the domain, let's put my email address like that. And we're going to hit next. And we're going to leave launch WAMP app server 2 now. We're going to want to launch it, and we're going to hit finish. And it's going to want you to give it access because the manager needs, it needs permission for it to run. And we're going to hit yes. And if you go at the lower right corner, like I told you guys, you're going to see a nice little W. It changed to red, to orange, to green. Now, when it's green, that's a good thing. I mean, a really good thing because it basically tells you that the services are running. Now, the way that you know the services are running, I'm going to open up my browser. And once my browser is up at the URL address bar, I'm going to type in local host and hit enter. Now, if everything goes well, you should get the WAMP app server web page, basically letting you know what Apache version you have, the PHP version, whatever extensions are enabled, your MySQL extension version actually, and so WAMP server is basically installed. Now, some troubleshooting techniques. If you're having any issues with your WAMP server, there's one thing I forgot to tell you guys is when you download this, you got to make sure you download the Visual C++ 2010 Service Pack packages for your correct platform. If you're running an 86-bit server, make sure you download the 32-bit. If you're running a 64-bit server, make sure that you download the 64-bit. Again, when you click on the link to download the WAMP app server, it's going to tell you that it's going to give you a nice little warning indicating that you need this first. So let's configure iWAMP a little further. So configuration is pretty simple. Again, at the lower right corner of your taskbar, you have the nice little W, which is the WAMP server. If you just click on it, you get this nice little dialog box. And let's go into the www directory. Now, the www directory is basically the section of where you drop your files in. I have a PHP file called index. The php.index is basically the local host, is what we saw with all the information. So I'm actually going to right click, go to new, go to folder, and I'm going to go old. And I'm just going to drop this PHP there. And I want to go to new, and we're going to create a new text file. And the text file is going to call index.html. And the format didn't change, but it was okay. And we're going to give it H1. And we're going to say, welcome to my website. It's pretty simple, right? And we're going to close the H1 tag. We're going to close our body. And we need to close our HTML, which I actually forgot to open it up at the very beginning. And I'm going to hit enter, and then I need to open up my HTML tag. So I'm actually going to go File, Save As, and I'm going to go All Files, and I'm going to save it, and yes, replace it. It should have created an HTML file, but it doesn't look like it modified this. So let's do it one more time. It's still saving it like that. So let's go into Tools, Folder Options, View, Hide, Apply, okay. and we're gonna do this. There we go, and we are going into our Firefox, and let's type in localhost and see what happens. And there you go. Welcome to my website. Awesome. So that works with no problem. The title, BTN production. We're gonna close this up, close that up. So that's how you add HTML files in it. Now, by default, your website is currently only accessible by computers that WAMP server is installed on. So that's actually perfect for anyone that's actually testing the WAMP server for deployment purposes. But if you want to make the website accessible to the rest of the world, you actually have to go into your nice little dialog box and just put online. Just click put online. Like right now it's servers online, and servers online right now. So the green basically tells you that it is online, okay guys? But Apache by default has a configuration file that is actually set to deny incoming connection from anyone except the local host. So that means we actually have to change that. If not, you're gonna get a nice little 403 forbidden page error, and you guys don't really want that. So let's go modify that. So again, let's go back into our WAMP server, click on the dialog box, and go to Apache, and you want to go into the http d.config file, and you want to locate the order deny allow section. So let's locate that. Okay, so once you locate this line right here, order deny allow and deny from all, you actually need to change this. And the modifications that you need to change is this. You want order, allow, and deny. And the second line should be basically allow from all. So once you do these modifications, order, allow, deny, and allow from all, you want to go to file, save the file, close, and then after you do that, you need to restart all your services. So we're actually going to go back into our WAMP server dialog box right here and restart all the services. As you can see, it's changing to orange, then red, orange, red, and then green. You're back online. Now your site should now be accessible to the World Wide Web, but not as of yet, because most likely your home server, the server that you're hosting your WAMP server to, is attached to a router. Okay, so this involves a little bit of port forwarding on your side, as well as your machine or your router has, or your ISP provider provides you a external IP address, and this external IP address is only a bunch of numbers, but you don't want to give your clients or anyone a bunch of numbers. You want to give them an address like www.bj.news or bjtechnews.org. That's what you want to provide them. You don't want to give them a bunch of numbers of 111.1112. You don't want to give that stuff, right? So you need your router to do port forwarding a little bit, and then you probably need to get like a service like GoDaddy to actually provide a DNS, a domain name, service or alias. Okay, so I'm actually going to show you how to do port forwarding on my side. So I actually have a Netgear router, and I'm actually within the port forwarding and port trigger. I have port forwarding, and I want to do it added customs and never for the site. And I want to do a new service. So the new service is going to be HTTP, right? Actually, I could cancel this because I already have a service already named. And you need to provide the IP address. Now, the IP address for this local machine, because I'm doing everything virtualized, I think it's .18. There you go, it is .18, and I'm just gonna add .18, and there you go. Now you need to figure out what's your external IP address. What's the IP address that your internet service provider, your ISP, provides you? Now to get that, a lot of people will normally go into Google and just write what's my IP address. And once you do that, you're going to basically get your external IP address. Now, this is another tool out there called Open Port Check tool, which allows you to do a testing for port forwarding. And from there, it's going to provide you your external address. And from there's another section that allows you to check whatever open port finder you have. Now I actually have port 80 open for my router, as you can see, and if I do a check, it's basically trying to attain the port status, and it's closed. So that's pretty strange that it's closed, but I have it open to 8080. And that's it, guys. Hopefully you guys enjoy on how to host your own web server on a Windows Server machine using WAMP server. And if you have any questions, please let me know, and I'll catch you guys later. Peace out.